My name is MD Arbaj Ansari and I'm currently in first semester pursuing BTech Information Technology at NIT Raipur. This video is a part of self-introspection video project conducted under the guidance of Mr. Arun Tiwari sir. Over the next few minutes, I will reflecting on few questions that have helped me take a closer to toward my habits, mindset and personal growth. These questions just were not about what I stand today, but where I want to become on that journey. Am I using my time wisely? This question has been on my mind for lately. It's one of the questions that seems simple on the surface, but when you sit deeply right now, my topmost priority is doing good in academically because I believe that the foundation I need for a better future. At the same time, I also focused on growing mentally and emotionally, trying to be a better person than I was yesterday. Those two things, academic success and personal growth, guide most of my decisions these days. One of the questions that seems simple on the surface, but when you sit with it, it can really make you reflect deeply. Right now, my topmost priority is doing good in academically because I believe that the foundation I need for a better future. At the same time, I also focus on growing mentally and emotionally, trying to be a better person that I was yesterday. Those two things, academic success and personal growth, guide most of my decisions these days. When I think about the whether I am actually living according to those priorities, I would say I am trying. A typical day of me is pretty structured. College takes up to 6 to 7 hours. After that, I usually spend 1 to 1.5 hours just relaxing, which I think is important too. I also make sure that to give at least half an hour to personal development, whether it's yoga, light meditation, or just going for a one habit I have mentioned and I'm really proud of is calling my parents every night since I live far away from them. For studies, those calls means a lot to me. It's our time to talk about how the day went, share little things and stay connected. I also dedicate a decent chunk of my time for self-study. For me, it's about attending lecture. I love to go over things again, dig deeper and make sure I actually understand what I am learning, but on the flip side, I spend around 2 to 2.5 hours daily on social media, mostly YouTube and Twitter. And honestly, that I know that way more than one should do. That brings me to something to I am still working on procrastination. There have been several times where I finish assignment just a day before the deadline. Technically, I complete things on time, but deep down I know that I did not give my 100%. That's where the regret creeps in. Not because I did not finish it, but because I know earlier I have been trying to track how I use my time, and sometimes I realize how quickly those small distractions, one video of one tweet, turns into hours gone. It's eye-opening and a bit scary. One thing I am learning is that time well spent does not always mean doing something intense or productive. Rest things matters too. Whether it's playing cricket, which I love, or just unwinding with music. These moments help me recharge and honestly, when I do take breaks, I come back more focus. So finding that balance between working hard and giving myself space to breathe, that have been a learning curve. I often ask myself what I am doing today, helping me become the better person I want to be tomorrow. Sometimes the answer is yes, like when I'm studying, playing cricket, reflecting, or connecting with my family. But sometimes I know I am not just doing what feels good in the long run. The awareness itself is helping me shift my habits little by little. I know I can improve, especially in how I handle procrastination and reduce social media use. I started day more intentionally using timers and setting a specific window for distraction instead of letting them take over. And again, it's about being perfect, it's about being international, it's about being more aware of where my time goes and making sure it reflects. I want to become as I was. Another question naturally comes to my mind. Am I taking anything for granted? because the way we use our time often reveals what we value and sometimes what we overlook. It made me think if I am not fully present, if I am taking a shortcut, because maybe I am not appreciating everything the way I should. So today I have decided to pause and really ask myself this. Am I truly aware of all the good in my life? I began my breaking my life into three parts: relationship, health education, and even the small little comfort I have every day. Looking at each of them individually helped me understand where I un- unknowingly be taking things for a granted. One relationship, one relationship I truly value is with my parents. Living far away from them for studies has actually made me more aware of how important they are in my life. We talk every night, and those conversations keep my grounded. So no, I don't take them for granted. In fact, I probably even appreciate them more than now ever did before. But maybe I don't always express that appreciation as often as I should. Maybe I assume that nightly I'll say it all when I'm simple thank you or I miss you could mean a lot. Health physically, I am in decent shape. I play cricket, do yoga, go for walk, but still there are days when I forget how lucky am I just to be healthy. Mental health is something I have only recently discovered. Started paying attention to light, meditation helps, but I know sometimes push through stress without acknowledging it does something. I want to work on being more mindful, more in true with how I'm really doing education. This is a big one. I know not everyone gets the opportunity to study at a good college, to have access to resources, or even the freedom to focus on learning. And while I do take my studies seriously, self study, paying attention in class, trying to grow, there are still days I catch myself lacking, procrastinating, or just wishing I did not have to study at all. There are the moments when I realize maybe I am taking the opportunities a little for granted. I want to remind myself that this phase of life, the chance to learn, grow, and build a future is something I will back on later. And I don't want to live back with regret. My material comfort, honestly, I have never been super materialistic, but I do live a pretty comfortable life. I have a phone, internet, a decent place to stay, and food on my plate every day. Sometimes I do catch and myself comparing, like seeing what others have on social media and thinking I wish I had. It's not constant, but it happens. And when it does, I try to come back to this their journey is not mine and my progress is valid, even if it looks different. Examining myself talk, this one personal, I offer myself bigger critic. I expect a lot from myself, which helps me grow, but sometimes it turns into pressure, into harsh self talk. So lately I have been trying to be more compassionate towards myself, to remind myself that I'm allowed to make mistakes and I am learning, still becoming, and instead of just focusing on what I am lack, I'm trying to recognize my strength too. The discipline to self-study, the consistency in calling my parents and their effort putting into studying healthy. These things matter. This has been a tough lesson, learning to accept what I can't control, whether it's outcome, other people's opinion, or just the pace of life. I'm learning to let go not just of happiness, but out of pace. When I can control, I slow up. How I plan my time, how I treat myself and others. But when I take a step back, I slowly realize many people do. I just forget to notice it. Looking at my recent behavior, I think I have been rushing through days, always stopping to be grateful, like going getting through college just to get it over with it, or being annoyed by small things instead of appreciating the bigger picture. Even with my life effort like playing cricket or doing yoga, I sometimes do them mechanically without really being present. That sometimes I want to change. Sometimes my friends or family member point out how focused I am on the future, and while that a bad thing, Not that, but not a bad thing. I realize it might take me overlook the present. It's great reminder that being driven is great, but being grounded is just as important. So I am taking things for granted in some ways. Yes, but more importantly, I am becoming aware of it now. And that awareness is where change begins. I want to start saying thank you more to the people I love, to the life I have, even to myself. I want to slow down sometimes, take a breath, and notice all the good things that exist around me. Because gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a practice. So I am taking things for granted, yes, but I am learning not to. And I think that shift in awareness is already a step in the right direction. After thinking about how I spend my day and the things I may be taking for granted, I started to wonder even something deeper, employing a healthy perspective. Because the way we think things, or our mindset shapes the way we experience life. And sometimes it's not what's happening around us, but how we interpret it that defines our reality. I try to keep an open mind, especially when it comes to learning. College has shown me that every subject, any conversation, even disagreement can teach you. Sometimes, if you are willing to learn, but I also know I can be a bit rigid at some time, sticking to what I am comfortable or familiar at, even when something new could be better. That perspective I am trying to shift. As for optimism, I am somewhere in the middle. I do believe things will work out, especially if I work hard and stay consistent. But when challenges hit, that optimization can sometimes fade. I have noticed that in myself, so I am working on being realistic and hopeful and not letting either side overpower the other. Failures, yes, they are tough. I procrastinate sometimes, and that often leads to last minute threat. Even if the result turns out to be okay, I carry the sense of regret that I could have been better. But I have learned is that beating myself up does not help. What does help is asking, what can I learn from this? How can I avoid repeating it? That shift from blame to learning is sometimes I am slowly adopting, and in difficult times. Try to stay grounded. The cricket helps, sort of taking to my parents. They remind me of that every rough patch is temporary, and I'll always come out stronger, even if does not feel like um, at that time. Empathy is something I value deeply. I realize that just listening without jumping to conclusion or trying to fix things can change the world. I try to practice that with my friends and family. And even when I don't agree with someone, I remind myself they are living a different experiences. But one thing I struggle with is comparison. Scrolling through social media, seeing other people achievement, their lifestyle, sometimes make me question if I am doing enough. It's constant, but it happens. And when it does, I try to come back to this. This journey is not mine, and my progress is valid, even if it looks different. Examining myself, talk this one personal. I offer myself bigger critic. I expect a lot from myself, which helps me grow, but sometimes it turns into pressure, into harsh self-talk. So lately, I have been trying to be more compassionate toward myself, to remind myself that I am allowed to make mistakes and that I am learning, still becoming, and instead of just focusing on what I am lack. I am trying to recognize my strengths, the discipline to self-study, and the consistency in calling my parents, and the efforts putting into staying healthy. These things matter. This has been a tough lesson, learning to accept what I can't control, whether it's outcomes, other people's opinion, or just the pace of life. I am learning to let go, not just of happiness, but out of pace. What I can control is I show up, how I plan my time, how I treat myself and others. And I reached the end of this introspective journey. I realized something important, that self reflection is not about finding perfect answers. It's about being honest with ourselves, acknowledgement where we stand, and taking small but meaningful steps forward. So, thank you for watching this video.